Hello, and this is Ben Phillips April with Right Words Marketing, and I'm back to what is it, session 2 of Getting in Your Own Way, which is this ad hoc series of conversations I'm having with entrepreneurs about how we all get in our own way. And it happens to all of us. It's just part of human nature. But it impedes a lot of us in our progress, particularly as entrepreneurs. And today we're talking with Nicole Lewis-Keeber, who is a founder of Nicole Lewis-Keeber Coaching. And Nicole, you have a really interesting background because you also have 18 years experience as a therapist,
Yeah.
which I think really adds a whole nother dimension to your coaching. Especially in that whole concept of we get in our own way, we're all in our heads, we're stuck in our heads. So share a little insight about how that helps you get people out of their heads.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate, I think, to be doing the work I do with the clinical background I have, and that I understand, I think, from a different level why we get out in our own way. Like I can give you a clinical rationale, should you want it, as to why, as to why we do that, what the purpose that it serves is, and how we're all pretty much alike in that we do that, and that also there's not just one way to fix this or to change it, that's why there's a myriad of books and different ways of handling things about getting in your own way in the world, because there's just not one way to handle it. But I think having that clinical background really helps me approach it at whatever level the person's at, which I feel very fortunate to have.
Right, because for some people it's a very simple question, right, to help them get to the next stage, and then other times it may be a much deeper thing where your expertise in that arena will come in handy.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes it's just the reframe of thinking about something differently, or asking a different question, or a little bit of that mindset tweak. We're always talking about mindset. And for some people, it is just a little bit of a switch to get them going. And for some other people, it could be that there are some things from their past that they're bumping up against that are keeping them from moving forward. And so being able to kind of, I'm not doing therapy, but being able to kind of dive into that a little bit and understand what is there that's holding you back can be very helpful.
Right. So do you have any tips or tools that you'd like to share about like ways you can kind of get unstuck in your mindset if you're feeling you're in a stuck place?
Yeah. I think you can do this with a lot of things. You can do this with money. You can do it with your business. Anything really, is that you ask yourself, okay, what is it that I want to do? Like, what's my goal? And you write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you write down what immediately comes up for you when you write down that goal, So, because what happens is when we set a goal for ourselves, no matter what it is, and particularly when we write it down, is it starts the thoughts churning.
Wow.
Right? So our inner critic starts talking. And then, the thoughts, feelings, and emotions about what that goal means starts pouring out of us. And it really happens so instantaneously that a lot of times we don't realize it actually happened. So when you do this exercise, when you write down this goal, and I always say, make it a juicy goal, like whatever your goal is, like kind of put it on steroids for a minute, just so you can get that nice juicy reaction from it. Write down what thoughts are coming up for you, what feelings are coming up for you, your emotions, how are you feeling in your body?
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be a huge indicator to you as to what is it that is getting triggered and that is getting in your way from reaching that goal. Because once you can see it, then you can start to pick each piece apart and start to address it.
Right. I mean, I was just writing that down because I think that's really powerful. So can you give us an example of one of these juicy goals?
Yeah. So, me, because I have this money mindset, background, I'm always telling my clients, okay, so I want you to set an income goal for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Write it down. And so they'll write it down and, write down how many hours you want to work per week to reach that goal, just kind of putting some context around it. And so then I have them double it.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's when they freak out on me.
Right.
So what happens is we have this goal that we're feeling like we're kind of reaching for. We're already starting to get a little triggered. And then I say, I want you to double that number. And that's when it comes up for them. And all of those little tidbits of pieces of thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we can grab out of that scenario are showing us the pathway to help you move towards that goal instead of away from it. Because all those things that come up, they either move you this way, backwards, or they can be the catalyst to help you understand what you need to do to move forward. But you need that clarity to do that, right? And that's when, no matter whether it's a money goal, weight goal, a business goal, personal, whatever it is, those things are going to come up for us when we're reaching out for it.
Yeah, so you see something that's being triggered, you recognize you're being triggered, and then you can go, ha. If you can take that step back and that pause to recognize, wow, that's really doing something here.
Exactly. And also to be nice to yourself about it, because we all have it. Right. I don't care who you are, what level in business you are, what amount of money you make. Even the most, confident people, when they do something new and different, everyone gets triggered a little bit in some kind of way about reaching out for goals. So just being kind to yourself about the fact that you do have these triggers, because everyone else has them too. Right.
That's a big, I think that's a really critical piece, because a lot of us beat ourselves up too bad, much about it, or we go, why am I not where I think I should be, or whatever it may be, but.
Yes. And then we as entrepreneurs in particular, we are so very, very good at using our businesses to beat ourselves up. Unfortunately.
Which brings us to your program. The title of your program is what?
It's the Love Your Business coaching program. It's really the bigger title of it is how to lose the abuse and fall in love with your business.
Well, that's kind of powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because we're abusive to ourselves, and we're abusive to ourselves in our businesses.
Yeah, because I think when we reach out, again, when we get in our own way, and that's what we're kind of talking about, is how do we get in our own way? Well, the average person probably sets one or two goals, maybe one or two things that scares them, and so they can kind of work around that. But when you are creating a business, or you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you're scared to death every day, pretty much, or we don't have a framework around the thing that we're trying to build, because we've just decided to do it. And because we haven't really looked at our business as a relationship, that we are entering into a committed relationship with this business, we kind of default into kind of mean ways of being towards ourselves about it. Like, I didn't do enough. I didn't make enough money. So-and-so has a better sales page than me, blah, blah, blah. And so we use this business that we really love and are working hard to build as a vehicle to beat ourselves up. And then what happens is that gets in our way. And sometimes we use the business as a reason to get in our way from our goal.
Can you explain that? Give us an example.
So if I create a no good, nasty, mean boss relationship with my business, unintentionally, but if that's the case, it holds me back from doing well. And so then I can blame this business, and it didn't work out for me. It works out for other people, but it didn't work out for me. I didn't have enough hours in the day to do it. All those things, I kind of get to blame those instead of looking at the big picture of how I set this up. So we can use it as an excuse as to why we don't do better. That's when it gets really deep and dark. It's like when we start to use excuses about why we're not getting ahead. And again, that's how we get in our way, is we create an impossible situation for ourselves to prove it's not possible. If they see, who could do this? I can't do this because it's impossible. But no, you created that for yourself. You did that. Your business did not do that to you. You did that.
Right. So do you have an example of how somebody could create like this nasty, way of being in their business?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that we do this. We set unrealistic expectations for ourselves. We don't sit down and have that conversation about the fact that we are in a relationship. How do we want to feel? What's our mission and vision for our business now that we're like best friends? Like, what are we going to do? What's my workspace going to be like? What are my hours going to be like? What does my family need to do or not do around this? We just don't really set that intention on how we're going to create our business outside of like business plans and numbers. And so what we do is we don't create that container to grow our business emotionally and like from a personal standpoint. And then it becomes unbearable. It gets too big. It has no boundaries. And at the end of the day, we literally felt like we got beat up by our business because we didn't set up a perimeter around it that was supportive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always just like examples, so that's why I ask them because I think it's useful for people.
Yes,
But
if for example, you would go to bed at the end of the day and feel like I got nothing done
right,
because your perspective is skewed rather than, okay, I got this done, I got that done, I got, so many different ways.
yeah. And one little tip I have come across a few times that I've done it a few times as well, and it's really fun. Is the to done list instead of writing your
Yes.
giant to do list.
Yes.
How
I
about just
love that.
take a few minutes and write down things you have done?
Hmm. Yes, I really truly believe that celebrating your progress is one of the key things that you can do to help you feel supported and build those new ways of thinking and being about setting a goal.
Hmm.
Because if I celebrate every little thing, like at the done list at the end of the day, and I'm like, woo,
Right.
rather than I didn't do it fast enough, I didn't do enough, I didn't get that done, and just ignoring all the things that we did to progress our business each day, it is such a key component to creating a loving relationship with your business is to give yourself credit for what you've done and celebrate all the little things instead of waiting for the big thing.
Right, right. Because, so you want to create this program and you want to get, 20 people in it, let's just say, and it needs to all happen. You don't give yourself enough time to plan it. I find people do that a lot of times. They don't give enough time to plan it. They don't take a serious look at like how big is their existing list and audience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, well, if I want 20 people in it, then I really should be, I need to put it in front of like 2,000 people
Yeah.
and on a consistent basis, not just a one-time offer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then building up all the planning around that. And it's like, maybe I should delay, putting this thing out for another 2 months and then spend the 2 months really building my list,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that may look like. But a lot of times people don't put enough planning around things and don't put enough promotion around them. And then they're disappointed.
Right. And so how they get in their own way by doing that is they don't create the space for it. They don't listen to the advice. And so what they get to do at the end of the day is not achieve something because it was too scary to start with.
I love the way you say that. Too scary to start with. Right. And then you can go, yeah, I tried that and it didn't work for me. Or you just walk around in a funk and feeling like, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
And, get sucked into just that nasty, gunky feeling.
Yeah. That's literally a way to sabotage yourself and get in your own way from having the thing that scares you, even though you want it, by not creating that plan,
Right. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mapping it out. And, because some people, you get scared by how many things are to be done in it sometimes. But then I say, well, at least then like what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, well now it's just like, I mean, in marketing, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about, planning this big thing that we're doing and chunking it down
Mm-hmm.
and actually doing it.
Right. But if the person refuses to do that, then there's a bigger question there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you know that doing a Facebook Live every day is good for your business, then why don't you do it?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm scared.
Right.
I'm scared, or I want to blame I want to blame something else about why I didn't reach my goal. So
Right. All right.
we're complicated human beings. It's just how we are, and it's okay. We're built that way. Anything that scares us and feels big or scary, we from a base survival level that is going to trigger some fear in us, and that part of ourselves is going to be like, no, bad idea, don't do that. Anything I can do to keep you from doing that, I'm going to do it. So it's
Right.
it's human survival to not move towards the scary thing. So again, we have to be nice to ourselves about the fact that every day we're moving towards the big scary thing, and we're going to get in our way if we're not conscious of it.
Right. So do you have any tips for people for taking that time to acknowledge themselves and not beat themselves up?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Like, I love your to-done list. I love that. Give yourself credit for what you've done. Write it down. It's very easy to get mindless about that. So celebrate your small steps towards your goal. Don't wait till the end result, because honestly, even then, we don't celebrate it because we are not taught in this culture to celebrate anything really until the big, big, big goal gets met. And even then, still sometimes not. So celebrate all the little steps. Give yourself credit for what you've done. And if you have trouble with that, find one or two people that you really, really trust that are going to be speaking the same language about your goal that you're working towards, so that you can text them and go, I just wrote a paragraph in an email that I'm scared to send, or I hit send on an email that's been scaring me and freaking me out all day. They're going to know exactly where you're at, what you need, and they're going to celebrate with you and push you forward without a bunch of explanation, because they're already bought into your goal. So find one or two people that are your cheerleaders to keep you moving forward too, so that when you forget to celebrate your progress, they'll do it with you and for you and remind you, because we all need support.
We do. It takes a village. Ideas do not move by themselves.
Yeah, because we're going to default to meanness. We're going to default to that mean boss place because the stakes are so high in our mind. So we need some people to help support us and be our cheerleaders.
Right. All right. And everyone gets stuck someplace along the way. And maybe it's a technological thing. You don't know how to do some X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. But if you have a good base network, then you probably have somebody who that is totally their zone of genius, and they can, send you a 2-second message about how to fix it.
Yep.
And if not, then you have if your network is big enough, then you can probably find someone you can pay to jump on Zoom and walk you through how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not insurmountable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, if we don't have that clarity and haven't given ourselves permission to do that, those are all the things that we use as a bat to beat ourselves up with every day. And people wonder why businesses don't thrive or they close. It's because we don't allow for ourselves to have that kind of support. And so all the things that we either don't know how to do or are harder than we thought, all that stuff, which, we're not meant to be multimedia corporations, as solopreneurs, all the things that are required and expected. It's a lot. So, and we use each one of those things kind of like a tool to beat ourselves up with. And we need to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And choose what's going to work for you. And then do that, but then actually do it and do it consistently.
Exactly. Yes. I think the key keeps being, be nice to yourself.
Yeah. Be nice to yourself and know what's effective,
Mm-hmm. Know it works. And if it's not in your zone of genius, hire someone else to do it. Don't use it as a bat to keep beating yourself with it.
Yeah, because it's not useful. It's not keeping you, that's keeping you down here instead of moving you forward.
Yeah. Get your support in place.
Yeah, so key, so key. So tell us a little more about your program. You're doing this group coaching program, right? And it's about falling in love with your business.
Yeah, and this is a program that came out of personal experience as well as experience in working with my clients, and that I realized about a year into my coaching business because, as a therapist, I worked with clients for 18 years, but I worked with them in a setting that didn't require a whole lot from me other than just to show up and be there for my clients. I wasn't running a business. Right. And so for me, within about a year of having my own coaching practice, I realized that I was feeling really abused by my business and feeling like I wasn't doing enough. And I just felt like in a very victim-y place around it. And I was thinking about stopping it. And so I won't go into the whole story, but I had, kind of an aha moment one morning when I realized, okay, so if I'm feeling beat up or abused by my business, that means that I'm in a relationship with it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's doing something to me. So that means I'm in a relationship with it. And so then I thought, okay, well, how do you fix a bad relationship? Right. Either you walk away from it or you see what you can do to fix it. And so that's what I began to do within my own business, was realizing the steps I needed to take in order to have a healthy and loving relationship with my business instead of a business where I felt like I had a mean boss beating me up every day that I created. No one did this for me. My business didn't just come out of nowhere. I'm the one who created this dynamic. Right. So I'm the one who could fix it, right? And so I created these steps and this process that I went through to kind of fall back in love with my business. And it's been pretty steady, and I really still enjoy it, and I feel supported by it. And so I began to talk to my clients, my money mindset clients, about this idea. And they're like, oh yeah, I feel like my business wants me dead most days of the week. And so we started to talk about this. And so now I've created this 6-month group coaching program to go through all those steps to help people move from kind of an abusive relationship with their business to one that feels solid and secure in a lot of different levels, like with your relationship with yourself, with your money, with your business, with your space, with your community, all those things that need to come on board to feel good. We talk about all that. And I'm doing it in a group setting, so there's camaraderie,
Right.
and there's support, and you have your cheerleading squad forming. Those people that know and are speaking the same language as you can jump in when you're being mean to yourself, so it's really cool. I'm excited about it.
Good. Well, that's exciting. People need that kind of support.
We do.
About being the victim to your business, because none of us start a business to do that. I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? I mean, if you think about why, all the reasons you started your business,
it wasn't to be a victim.
Being mean to yourself, not at the top of the list.
No, it was not at the top of the list. And so then we realize we're feeling that. We're like, wait a minute.
Right.
This is my business. If I feel this way, it's because I did this, so I need to stop. So, yeah.
Well, they say that running your own business is like the greatest personal self-development course ever.
It is. It's like a high dive in the personal development pool, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think we realize that. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't realize that right away.
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's useful to know that, to think of it from that perspective, because you go, oh, I'm not crazy.
Yeah. And again, having this clinical background, I can see where and why and how these things kind of come up. But man, it is not for sissies. That is for sure. Get your support in place,
Yeah. I know. People think it's going to be easy. Or sometimes people think it's going to be easy.
Yeah. And so that default is that anything that scares us, the default is to do something to get in our way about it, because that's survival. And so we just have to move through that and not be mean to ourselves. Yeah.
It's the whole fight and flight.
Yeah.
You got to keep on the move or the lion's going to eat you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And our inner warrior protector does not know that doing a Facebook Live is not going to eat me. All it knows is that you feel scared, and it's a lion, not a Facebook. It doesn't know. It's like our base survival doesn't distinguish between our fears.
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah. So it's like, no. So we get in our way. It gets in our way.
Right. Well, good. So when does your class start? Your program start?
Oh, the sign up ends on June 15th. So we're taking people right now. We have a limited amount of spots for the group program, and then we have a premium program too, where they can get the group format, but also one-on-one coaching with me per month as well. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
And where can people find out about that?
I have a link I can give you. It's not on my website. I know, bad.
This is like a top secret program.
I'm gonna beat myself.
If you're interested, you're going to have to contact Nicole directly.
Yes, just I'll try and I'll send you the link, but they can email me, Nicole@Lewis-Keeber.com, or they can check out my Facebook page, which is Nicole Lewis-Keeber Coaching. It'll be there too. So, yeah.
Okay. And you could, I'm going to share this on YouTube, and then I'm going to share this in the group, in the marketing video on Facebook, and you can put the link in there too.
Oh, that would be fabulous. And so my message is, no matter what, whether you work with me, whether you read a book, no matter what you do, take the steps to be kind to yourself, take a breath, and know that this is not natural to do to yourself, to be an entrepreneur, and that you're going to get scared and you're going to get in your way, and that it's okay. Keep moving forward. Hire someone to do your marketing, because that's not your zone of genius. Don't beat yourself up. Get some support. Get your peeps going, your cheerleaders going. Just do the work to help yourself have a business you love.
Mm-hmm. Great advice. Mm-hmm. I love it. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was so great.
Yeah. And I will send you this, I'll send you this link shortly.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.